Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but the C is probably a good friend right now.
No, I pulled the audio back, but I didn't know if that did anything or not. I don't have a compressor or anything running, so I don't know why it is, but oh well.
Yes, it helped it quite a bit, I think.
W2JBL.
Oh my God, and there's Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Brian, Perry, and the gang. This is the maiden voyage cart. This is the Sonar.
I was just going to refer to you as Sonar Man. How appropriate.
Yeah, I got it working good. The neutralization problem was caused by a hand. Me.
Hey, everybody. That's I don't know the year. Maybe it's 1960s. I'm not sure. That is a old Marine band back in the days when the 2 to 3 megahertz band was used for Marine transceiving. That is a tube transceiver that Chris got working now on 80 meters. Very cool.
My dad's got an old Sonar Marine receiver out in the barn. It's been there for 20 years in the same spot and hasn't moved. Well, you got a good signal down here, Chris, man. You're like 25 over. And I just happened to start a recording before you did it, so I'll post it up on YouTube and you'll be able to hear it.
Send me a link, because I don't know where you're at on YouTube. Yeah, I'm only getting about 60% modulation. I've still got some work to do, but it's crystal controlled, 2 channels, and Clark, I would guess by the construction and the fact that it's got a weather channel in at 162.55 that it's probably 1966, 7, 8, somewhere in there, late 60s. That's when the weather stuff came on the air. But it's working good. I have a beautiful Pi network in the thing now with plate and load. You pop the front panel off, and there's 2 knobs there for plate and load. And I got enough inductance for it to do 160. I don't think it's going to do 40. But thanks for letting me in. I got crap all over the bench. I'm going to clean up and put this thing back together. I'm going mobile with it. So let's see, what are we doing? 82 watts carrier. Well, that ain't half bad. Thanks for the reports, folks. W2JBL. Not quite mobile, but showy.
No, it sounds good. I can totally... Oh, man, I feel like I'm operating Marine Mobile here. Hey, Chris, is that the rig that's got the remote unit with the rotary dial channel selector?
Yes, that's a bit of overkill because I'm only going to have like 2 channels in it. Yes, it's out in the garage. I haven't hooked it up yet. That's the next part of the project. And this is the carbon mic. I have better mics I can put on, that are transistorized.
So that's the mic that came with it. I don't know. It sounds really good.
Scalification going on. There was a clipper, there was a post-clipper filter, there was a negative peak limiter, and there were .01s across the screen, the PA to ground. I bulldozed all of that stuff out. So, yeah, it sounds pretty decent.
And listen, all you had to do is give your latitude and longitude, your POB, and nature of distress, and that's all that was necessary.
Dude, I think it sounds great.
Appreciate that. Yeah, how many times have I heard that, Clark? Eating that Coast Guard, and all of that, man. Wow. And on AM before Slop Bucket took over.
Those were the days.
Well, I cut my teeth on these. That was my first job in the real world, was in the Marine radio shop. The guy was a Sonar dealer. Unfortunately, he's crapped out, and I don't have access to the manuals.
Well, that's real cool. I saw your AM phone post about looking for a manual for that. I'll try to hunt around also. But I ended up getting that transceiver at a Marine flea market in Massachusetts when I was in school in Marion, Massachusetts. And some dude was selling it for like $20. And that was a lot of money when you're a high school student. But I was able to pay him, and I got it because it was just in such nice condition. You know, it was like smooth, nice paint. You could tell it was like top of the line. So
I have Sonar stuff
working in it, and it's going to good use. Congrats, N1BCG.
Yeah, thanks. Next is the Bimini. Oh, they don't put out a lot of power. Yeah, this is going in one of my cars. I got one of those giant mag mounts. And you got it back in the day for $20. You got a good deal. This was an expensive radio. This was like a $700 radio, you know, when I was working for a dealer. So, yeah, that's cool. And, didn't blow up on me yet. The worst part was finding the goddamn tubes. Clark, I got thousands of tubes. Open it up. Oh, man, Clark kept the tubes. And I'm like, no, 12 DQ6, no problem. I got a bucket full of them. An hour and a half later, I emerged from the garage with a 12 AQ5.
Well, the reason it was on sale for like $20 is because think about it, it's the early 80s. It was these people, the boaters, had pulled them off their boats because the FCC basically said, AM between 2 and 3 megahertz, no longer acceptable. If you've got any equipment that operates on those frequencies, pull it out, not acceptable, get rid of it. So they would, and besides, I was 17 or, no, I was 16 years old. And I think this guy kind of like let me have it for a good price.
Yeah, well, I forgot our age difference, Jesus, when did they finally permanently outlawed these radios? I believe it was in 77 or 78 they finally said no more of it. The fishermen all clung to this stuff for years afterwards. So. Anyway, interesting piece of history. I'll catch you all later. Thanks for the report. I got to get something to eat. I've been down here all day. Everyone BCG in the group. W2JBL.
All right, Chris. Take care. Sounding good down this way, buddy. Can't wait to hear that thing in the mobile too. You got one talking mobile, boy. I tell you, the thing sounds good down this way. You're pretty much the only mobile I can hear from the house. I can hear Chris when it's real quiet here, but you come bombing in down here. So, yeah, I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. I'll email you a link, or if you get a wild hair up your butt, it's The AM Window is the name of the channel. The AM Window on YouTube there. So, I'll post it up here in a bit. But yeah, Pop, I know. I was just telling Chris about that marine receiver you have, and used to have all those 23-channel sonars as well. You were into collecting them for a while. W3MMR.
You know, I actually remember that vividly. It was 1981, and I was in high school. Yeah, now you can do the math and figure out how old I am. Anyway, 1981, I was going to in the fall of 81, I was going to these marine flea markets, and people were selling all kinds of stuff for boats. And Marion, Massachusetts is a great place for buying stuff for boats. And there was a whole area there where people were selling these AM transceivers. Can you imagine that? 2 to 3 megahertz when that was the marine band. Obviously now it's VHF in the 160-meter portion. 160 megahertz portion. But previous to that, there was a lot of AM activity between 2 and 3 megahertz, and then the FCC changed the rules. All the 2 to 3 megahertz transceivers were now basically can't use them if they were AM. So people were unloading them. And I remember going to this flea market, and this guy was selling this. It looked like a top-of-the-line, absolutely top-of-the-line receiver. It was in amazing shape. It must have been on some, 50, 60, 70-foot luxury yacht, because it was in absolutely brand-new condition. And it was being sold for, a little more money than I had. And I hung out, and I hung out, and I hung out. And the guy was looking at me, he's like, "Hey, kid, you really like that radio, huh?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'd love to have this." I think he had it for like $50. And I said, "I just don't have $50. I said, "It's kind of a lot of money." And he goes, "Well, what do you have?" And I said, "I got 20. And he goes, "Well, is it worth 20? I said, $20? Are you kidding? $20 is Friday and Saturday night, and then the following Friday and Saturday night at the grill at my school. So that's 4 nights hanging out with my friends over 2 weekends." And he goes, "You know what? You give me $20, you're taking this radio home in 2 hands. And I did. I gave him a $20 bill and I walked home with it.
Cool deal. I'm going to yank out of here with this one. But these radios, some of them, the bigger ones, go all the way. They have a 40-meter capability. Some of them went all the way up to 8 megahertz. Not too common, but the more expensive ones did. And more commonly, a lot of them went up to 4 megahertz. Those frequencies were also AM back during that time. It all changed over to sideband. Cool story. I was going to guess you got it at the infamous, wonderful Flotilla 63 Coast Guard Auxiliary tag sale at Mamaroneck Harbor. That's where I got a lot of them.
No, that came from Marion, Massachusetts, on Buzzards Bay.
Here goes the band.
It's a marine, flea market there, right on the water. All kinds of stuff were being sold. But they had a section there for their radios, which were, by the way, when the FCC says you can't use them anymore, people just want to get rid of them. They didn't want to throw them out because, like you said, brand new, they were $700 and something bucks. But they wanted to get something for it. And along comes this lanky kid, all he had is $20, and that was like two weekends worth of money at the school grill for hot dogs and sodas and stuff. And I was willing to give that up for this transceiver. And I guess, whatever old buzzard, salty, mariner who had that sonar, I guess he felt bad for me. Hey, Chris, very important. You were 20 over here with the sonar. I am so happy.
Well, I'm getting about 80 watts a carrier, and I'm on an 80-meter dipole. It's up at about 60 feet, from the ladder lines. I'm on a decent antenna. The receiver sounds marvelous in this thing. Very, very nice audio. I forgot how good they sound. And the receiver's doing a good job rejecting the guys down the band. I got a few more things I want to do to it. I'll send you some pictures of the revised tank circuit. To get them up above 2 megacycles, you got to bulldoze all of those coil clips and those long leads. I got a nice, neat pi network in here now. I'll send you some pictures of it. It came out nice. See you later, and thanks again. N1BCG in the group, W2JBL.
Almost 30 over.
Hey, Chris, real quick, that one's got AM, it's got the AM band also, right?
And, are you ready for this? A little converter board to allow you to hear with a crystal in it for 162.55.
Holy cow. Yes, I want pictures. I forgot, I should have said that. The cost of that radio is, I want pictures.
Hey, no problem. Next time I get down here, all right? Catch you later. And there's an asshole in the wind chime. See you later, W2JBL. Planning for the last time. No wind chimes going good.
Well, there you go, folks. When you make a ham ferry donation to someone and you hear that, number one, they really like it, number two, they're putting it to good use, and number three, it's working out great, isn't that better than any amount of money? Okay, up to a limit. But isn't that better than any amount of money to hear that kind of thing? I'm just bathing in happiness right now. Yeah. And hello to Special Ed and Yay out there. All right, Perry, time to regain control of the frequency. There you go. Perry, WMMR, is another victim of alien abduction. I know what the problem is he's either eating his dinner or he's in the men's room. In either case, you need a remote key-up position there. All right, let's do this differently. Who's left on 3885?
Sorry, my mother just swung by. That's the joys of having your mother that lives a block away.
Let's do it. C2CKL.
I'm still here. I had to entertain my mother for 5 minutes.
Oh, shouldn't you say tell her I'm my best or what?
Yeah, I asked if she wanted to go out to dinner with you.
I was just talking to Ernie on DMR. He saw me tee up on the Blue DV program I got, and so I saw him on there. I just got done with him on Tri-State. It's weird, like talking to him on the same microphone I'm talking to you.
Well, can you imagine that, Frank, if your ex ended up getting a ham radio license, you guys can quorum each other?
Yeah, she wouldn't. That'd be the last thing she would ever get.
I don't think she'd ever do that. No, I don't think so. No.
Hey, what the hell? I ended up dating a girl who 2 weeks later ended up getting her pilot's license because I took her flying in a small plane. So, you never say never.
Oh, I'm saying never. Trust me. I lived there. I lived there for a short period of time when I moved back up from down south and had a little station set up there and almost went out the window a couple times.
Well, she looks at radio equipment. She sees my face.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Now she stopped by and dropped off some hot and spicy sweet and excuse me, what is it? The damn Chinese soup? What's it? Hot and sour soup.
Are you serious? So she's like Meals on Wheels, and I got to go out and get my own dinner? That's just wrong.
That soup too, man. Where does she buy it?
That place up the street next to the Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Chinese joint next to the Dunkin' Donuts on Edgemont.
Oh, because we used to go to Wing Hing all the time. You know where that is, where the Pep Boys is. How's that place? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's good. I've been getting Chinese food from there for years now. It's closer, obviously, so yeah, it's right down the street. It's good. They sell their wonton soup's really good.
All this food talking, I haven't eaten anything except a few tortilla chips, which are not sticking to my ribs really good. But, yeah, I don't know. That chicken's up there. I'll grill that, and kind of wind down. It's good hearing from Ernie. We've been doing a lot of that music stuff with the DAX and digital stuff, and so that's been cool. So. Yeah, the band's hanging in here, man. What do you think, Clark? 20 minutes to 6? Plenty of activity? Mobile stations checking in, everybody.
Oh, you start talking like that, at any moment the rug gets pulled out.
It's starting to get pulled.
Magic carpet.
Magic carpet ride.
Telling you, man.
Yeah, Perry, you're blasting in here. Both of you guys are really loud. Now, what was Chris using? A Sonar mobile?
Yeah, that was an old late 1960s AM Marine band transceiver I gave him.
Oh yeah, I have a Sonar direction finder, Marine direction finder, and I got a bunch of CBs that are Sonar. They made a ham radio transceiver.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's extremely rare. I got a picture of it. If I could find it on one of these computers, I'll send it to you. Yeah, 10 through 80 meters. And it's extremely rare, but they made it. Carrier.
Welcome to the tune-up frequency. It's good to feel important, isn't it? Boy, won't he be surprised when he unkeys. That's right. And hello to Brett, if that's Brett out there. handheld?
It's a little SDR copy of something from Ingleside. A really nice display on it. I got one. So the radio is putting out 2 lines on 3 amplifiers, and I'm getting 20 watts of power capacity, and the audio is horrible.
Good evening, Brad. I can hear you. You're down by the noise, but I do hear you. Good evening. W2JBL.
I don't think it's horrible audio. It's fine.
Very good speaker. I had a big one up for it. For like a really reasonable price. The amplifier, so 160 210. And it's pretty good. It's RF sensing and everything. So the SDR about the receiver is great. I've been listening to you guys for a while, playing around with different things. Good evening.
Yep, evening. No, still great.
Yeah, they did. Sonar did make a 4-bander SSB transceiver that covered 80, 40, 20, and 15, which sold for $495 less the power supply. The power supply for either 120 or 12 volt DC cost $135. I can't find the the actual model number of it, but they also produced the SRT-120 mobile transmitter that covered 80 through 10 with 100 watts of input power for AM and CW. Kit form, less the power supply, was $160. Factory wired, $198 with the power supply. Excuse me, wired with the power supply is $279. So they made quite a few.
What were they, AM?
Yeah, the SRT-120 mobile transmitter was AM for 80 through 10, but the 4-bander transceiver was sideband.
Good evening from the western reaches of the AM universe, W2JBL.
And there's Kevin. Good evening, Kevin.
Kevin. Where are the western regions, by the way?
Ohio, and it just drops off after that.
It's like the flat earthers. You just get to the edge and fall off.
There is some flat earth out here, that's for sure.
Where are you coming in so well?
Well, I don't know. Probably ask the ionosphere. You're coming in really good here. That's what I checked in. Everybody sounded so good I couldn't resist.
The band is starting to go along. I lost the old man and Brett, so not much longer.
Yeah, that Sonar transmitter, man, I'd love to have one of those things, but they are very, very rare.
Yeah, I can't find an actual picture of one on here. Why is my line voltage low? Yeah, I can't find an actual picture, but I found the information on it.
You got a picture now? Just send it to you, and I send it to Clark. It's 100 watts, man. 100-watt transmitter. TVI proofed. It's cool, man. But I'd love to have one of them babies.
Oh, look at this thing. Yep, that's it. The SRT 120. That's the one. Look at that, man. That's a cool looking rig too.
Oh yeah.
The model that Chris has, I believe, is a 75 Alpha. 75 Alpha.
Man, that Sonar meter on the front of it is cool.
I know. Look at that
No
vinyl,
meter.
man, and that transformer in it.
Guys, looking at ham radio porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Sonar SRT-120. Very rare 80 through 10 meter transmitter, AM transmitter. 100 watts, a high level AM.
Well, Perry, that final to use is a 5984A. You try finding one of them.
Probably costs more than what the thing's worth. What'd you say, Shane? Sorry, man, that carrier's eating you up. I just put a notch filter on it. Hopefully that'll help.
Well, they're huge, and it uses a pair of 6L6s and push-pull for modulators.
The modulators are solid state.
That's a cool looking tube, though, that final.
I'm going to put a wanted ad out there, see if I get any responses.
Yeah, probably want you to sign over your retirement. Somebody's out there keying up and saying something, but when they key up, their VFO is sliding way up frequency.
Trouble is, you look up Sonar on eBay, and it's like all you get is fish finders.
Yeah, I know.
Here's Whiskey 9, Whiskey Ocean Ocean. I hear you through the carrier. Go ahead. 185, 3885 EAM, W2SDR. You're FMing just a bit. I mean, you're drifting from below it to above it. As you go across the carrier, I can hear the heterodyne from the idiot. W2JBL, yeah, you're not real strong, but I hear you through the carrier, no problem, which is great. So he's quieted down the frequency, believe it or not. W2SDR, name is Frank, Salem County, southern New Jersey, about 40 miles west of Atlantic City.
Yeah, good evening to you, Gary. Excuse me, W9WOO. I hear you in there. Not real strong here. Excuse me. In southeastern Pennsylvania, but the call is W3MMR, Whiskey 3 Mike Romeo. The name's Perry, Papa Echo. Romeo Yankee, just here 7 miles southwest of Philadelphia in Chester, Pennsylvania. Sounding good this evening. Just put a notch filter on that carrier in there. Once I did that, you're coming through with no problem. About 10 over S9 here. So sounding good. W9 WOO from W3 MMR.
When you hear that PFO coming in there, I guess that's called real AM right there. But yeah, you certainly did. Whiskey 3 MMR, this is W9WOO. Yeah, name is Gary here, and working the twins here, the two twins actually, running about 125 carrier, modulating and tweaking. It's cool, that's what I'm doing.
Big in Ohio too, Gary, about 20 over from W2JBL.
Okay, I'm gonna be echoing 890 supposed to meet with my down there in Texas. So now I'm gonna come back to Texas. I'm going out there at 73. This is W9WOO.
I like this carrier on frequency. It sounds like we're out talking underwater.
W2
SCR 73.
Somebody said they were
See you, Pop.
frequency. Oh, WA1EIG says trying to break in here with 25 watts AM on the 40-meter dipole. That's not going to work.
Especially with his match being 3 to 1. So, but anyway, good evening to you, Gary. Get a longer wire up there. I'll see you.
Exactly.
Trust me, if I can get on 160 with what I got here and where I live, you can get on 80 meters.
See what it sounds like tonight.
Yay. Band is starting to go up and down, but I can still hear you guys. This seems like that same carrier that was in there for a couple days last time.
Holy cow. E7XL says good copy on 3885. And someone else is checking in from the Netherlands. What's his name? George? From the Netherlands? Somebody at least. Oh no, I'm sorry. I got the wrong person. Anyway, whoever's listening in the Netherlands, good morning.
Where's this at? Oh, this is on Mike's web SDR.
It's on Mike's. Mike's was down for a bit, but it's back now.
When was this? 1000 UTC. It was 7 hours ago. 8 hours ago. But yeah, I think this is that same carrier that was in there before, Clark. What do you think?
Really? I'm going to go back to TDOA. I was looking for a quiet Sunday night.
That carrier's 20 over here.
Yeah, it's 10 over here. So it's either out closer to you, probably closer to you, because I don't think the band is quite gone long yet.
It's 30 dB up here in Ohio.
Yeah, it must be. I bet you it's out there in western Pennsylvania.
Alright, so whoever's throwing the carrier, bad news for you. I've got the TDOA computer up and running right now, so it's not a big deal to go tune into 3885. If these guys are quiet for 30 seconds, guess what? We get a latitude and a longitude. So cut the BS now and save everyone the trouble. How's that?
I really thought that was the carrier keying up and going away.
All right, we tried to do it the easy way. Now we'll do it the hard way. Whatever, it's Sunday night, and I got time on my hands. That's a bad combination.
Uh-oh, if you mess with class, you're in trouble. Boy, you really got to be right on frequency.
What is it, SDR.HU?
Yeah.
Alright. Just let us know when you want us to shut up.
Alright.
Wait a minute.
I gotta switch microphone. Sorry, just switching operating positions is a little fun. Now we're on in Studio B. I'll be right back. Anyone BCG? Oh, this guy is just cruising.
Am I close?
You're dead on.
Not for long. That's what I say. Be very, very quiet.
Be very, very quiet. W3MMR.
I think that carrier is a little off frequency.
It's at 3884.971.
I guess it's not a modern rice box then.
It could be, being only 30 hertz, 29 hertz off, that's still really close.
Oh, come on. The owner of the Sigma SDR, are you serious? It's offline. You're one of my primary SDRs. Oh, well, we'll do without you then. All right,
Hanover in South Jersey.
Hang out for about 30 seconds. I got to take a sample of the frequency.
Alright, standing by in 3, 2, 1. TDOA is now in progress.
Has to be someone to do a photo bomb, huh?
And key up and go.
Coming in much better on one loop antenna compared to the other one, but I don't know where they're pointing. I need a rotor.
Alright, let's try this one more time. Another 30 seconds. Coming down in 3, 2, 1.
What did I say? Western Pennsylvania.
State College?
No, Western Pennsylvania. 41.20 and minus 79.72 is the longitude and latitude.
So what does Google Maps show?
Out by Clarion, PA, Richland Township is where it came up for me. But with these things, you have to do it multiple times to kind of get a really good honing in on it. But this is kind of a general area. Where'd you get, Clark?
Let's go to his house.
Yeah, no, I was doing another sample here. I had to change receivers. One of them was, like, misfiring.
Yeah, the one I was trying to use kept saying it was like octave was out of bounds. So I just did it with 4, 5 instead of 6.
Oh, you don't need that many. You can do it with, like, 3 and get a pretty good position.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but mine is north of Pittsburgh. It's kind of like northwestern PA. Like north of Pittsburgh there.
That's why it's so strong.
Well, tell you what, let's give it another shot. So, need another moment here for TDOA analysis. Going BCG. PA could be it.
Yep, I ran another one, and it's right there in the general area too, northwestern PA. Which, like I said, that's why I said that before, because Shane said it was 30 over by him, and Kevin said it was 20 over by him, and it's a little weaker here. Those boys are in Ohio, so it makes perfect sense.
I think there's some hum on that carrier.
I saw that too, Brett.
You guys are going to have to tell me how you do this.
You go to Kiwi or SDR.hu, okay, and you select a web SDR, Kiwi web SDR, okay. It's in our area, your area, whatnot. And then you select it, and once you go on there, you can once you see the control panel, you click on one of the drop down windows under extensions, and you can select TDOA, and then you select up to 6 different receivers. You know, basically in a like a triangle, in a big circle, basically of the area you want to you know, basically triangulate something in, and then all you do is hit submit and hit go, and it does the TDOA runs the TDOA algorithm after it takes like a 30-second sample, and then the algorithm will run, and it'll give you a heat map of a general vicinity of where said signal is. I think I know who it is, because he was on here earlier when we were talking earlier, and he was calling CQ on 75, then he came up here and started talking over a bunch of people, and I said the frequency was in use. I didn't hear him anymore, but it looks like the same kind of hum on the signal, and it was a person we had issues with before. It's not, it's the one guy that he said he comes on here all the time, and he never comes on anymore because there's always problems. You know who I'm talking about, Clark.
It seems really foolish to waste your time and tubes and electricity in order to just put out a carrier on a popular frequency. I don't know where the joy is in that.
Oh, he gets mad because he gets on 3880, and I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. But it's not Craig. Craig's been, me and him kind of, it's water under the bridge. Craig's actually a pretty cool dude. But it's somebody that I've heard him speaking to before. And when I checked his call, it's right out in that same area as well. So I'm pretty sure that's the culprit.
No, I can guarantee it isn't Craig or any of the usual guys out that way that I know of. No, Craig's not that kind of anymore. He'll come over to your house and do a number on you more than anything else.
Right, yeah, Craig's a pretty cool dude. It's got into it with him over stupid stuff, not that, not long ago, but I've talked to him pretty frequently in the mornings as of late, and he seems like a pretty cool guy, and I got nothing against him. It's just the one guy that he talks to. I can't remember his call, but yeah, I don't hear him on that often, this gentleman. He comes on every once in a while, and seems to have a vendetta against us here on 85. He spends a lot of his time on 80. Clark knows who I'm talking about. I just can't remember his call.
Okay, so I'm running 4 SDRs, but there's definitely longitude that have this pinpoint show up on a map.
Well, the thing is that the band has to be completely quiet. Let us know where you're going to do it, and the band will be completely quiet. And then, because there's all these other signals going on, it's going to be picking up all different signals, all different, carriers there. So run it when there's nobody on here but just that carrier. You know what I'm saying? If you want to run it, let us know, and we'll shut up for the duration.
Okay. I've got some numbers here. So what do? Plug those coordinates into Google Maps or something, or is there a shortcut?
Well, that was a quick sample. You can just you can plug those numbers in, but it doesn't. It's not showing up on a map. You don't have a heat map up, on the top there.
Fraternities. Where is this? I'm showing Columbus, Ohio, just north of town. Probably not right.
Yeah, the couple of times I did it, it was in northwestern PA, and then it was first time, and then it was a little bit north of there, northwest of there, closer to Erie. But it's up in the northwestern PA area. So I'm going to run it again. If you guys could stand by for about 30 seconds, I'll let you know when I'm done. W3MMR, 123 TDOA, here we go. Yeah, this time it came up a little north, like in the middle of Lake Erie, but which is why you need to do it a few times to kind of get it to get an average on where it is. But it's up there somewhere in that northwestern PA area.
It's fading around here, but at one time it was up over 40 dB.
Yeah, it's because the band's starting to go long.
Yeah, I'm about, I guess, about 45 miles northwest of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, now you're getting, that's actually probably really close to you. You're getting stronger here, and now you're stronger than the carrier, so the band's definitely starting to go long.
I'm not the only one that has the zero beat the carrier. Is that Brian? Zero beat the carrier.
It's Lucy, radio calling.
And there's Mike. Good evening, Mike. KC2SDR, W3MMR.
Good evening, man. I just got home from work.
Yeah, Roger, I'm just getting home from work. Well, it sounded good down this way, beating up the carrier. Right on top of it, so you're sounding good, Mike. Anyway, guys, I'm a sign, say 7.3. I'm gonna hook everything up for 160 here. I'm gonna go drop down to 160 and listen out for a while and jump on there when if anybody decides to show up. But it's been fun, but I gotta run. WZAJ, KC2SDR, N1BCG, N2DTS, and KB8 SMU. Take care, guys. W3MMR.
Hey, Terry.
Yo, Bill.
Hey, where do you go on 150? How you got there?
1885, between like 1880 and 1890. Well, that was interesting. Okay, Bill. Maybe I'll see you down there.
Why is somebody pulling a carrier? Did they try to be a jerk?
Yup, and somebody in northwestern PA. We've pretty much kind of honed it down to the area and who it is. But can't point any fingers, I guess, until we would be able to see their transceiver keyed up. But there's always we have a good idea of it. So take care, Mike. We'll catch you guys later. To 160 we go. I'll be down there in about 15 minutes. W3MMR, clear and out.
Before you go, where are you going on 150? I might drop down there so you guys to hear me.
Between 1880 and 1890. Last night we were on 1885. The night before we were on 1890. So somewhere in that area.
I pop down there, but my intent is not to dine down there. I don't get a place.
well, you can try. Maybe if you get a good match down there, key up. And if you can load it up down there, and maybe we'll be able to hear you. So, alright guys, I'll catch you guys later. W3MMR.